Summer is finally here, and with eased COVID-19 restrictions, it's a great time to take up a sport. Stay active, keep healthy, and enjoy the summer season. On the program today, we'll talk about the different sports you can try and why they're good for your overall well-being. I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez, and welcome to MedTalk Health Talk on CNN Philippines. From swimming to cycling, there's a summer sport out there that's right for you and your body. Now, our guests are here today to walk us through the different activities that you can enjoy. With us is Dr. Charles Arandia. He is an orthopedic surgeon and a sports medicine specialist from the Makati Medical Center. Also with us is Ige Lopez. He's an endurance coach and a seasoned athlete. Now, let's start with a sport that was made for the Philippines, which is swimming. Now, our country is overflowing with refreshing bodies of water, beautiful beaches, and wonderful pools. So swimming is an easy sport to pick up. Now, anyone at any age can take up swimming because it's relatively low impact and it has a number of physical and health benefits for that matter. Now, I'll start the discussion with Coach Ige. Coach Ige, when it comes to swimming, a lot of people are fearful of the water, but discuss some of the health benefits na meron ang swimming that may sway their decisions.
The good thing with swimming is it's non-weight bearing. So you can actually swim every day. You can swim long distances, morning and afternoon, without you feeling so tired and feeling so heavy on the legs. Kasi it's non-weight bearing. So non-impact siya sa tuhod, sa joints nyo. And then, of course, you have to learn how to be comfortable with the water first. But yeah, it's quite safe as long as you know the basic. And yes, you can definitely do it forever.
A lot of swimmers suffer cramps, which put them at risk for drowning. Dr. Charles, let's talk about that. Why do muscles cramp up? Ano bang cause ng cramps?
Typically, muscle cramps is caused by two main causes. One is you are dehydrated, so it's one of the most common cause of muscle cramps. Another one is you are overusing your muscles, so you're doing too much too soon. So basically, as far as sports is concerned, that's the two most common causes of cramps, which is dehydration and overuse.
Now, another summer sport that you can take up is scuba diving as well as free diving, because we have a backyard rich in marine biodiversity, and summer is the best time to take advantage of that. Now, when it comes to scuba diving and free diving, now we are going under the water and enjoying that biodiversity. Dr. Charles, when it comes to the human body going underwater, in scuba diving, we have that apparatus. With free diving, they are trying to go down deep with one breath of air. Are there any obvious risks that we should advise our viewers before they try and start enjoying any of these activities?
Of course, before you try to engage in this activity, it's actually a good step to have your doctors check you if you have any doubts regarding your health status, especially your lung and heart function when you're going to engage in scuba diving or free dive. If you have doubts about it, you can actually seek a clearance or an examination from your medical or lung doctor. Of course, the most common fears in diving is, apart from drowning, is the things that are related to nitrogen. One example is nitrogen narcosis, wherein, of course, the diver is breathing compressed air, and that compressed air is composed not just of oxygen but also of nitrogen. So when nitrogen accumulates in your body, you tend to have these effects of intoxication similar to alcohol intoxication. So patients usually have at mild forms, it's good. You have you become less anxious, but eventually, if the nitrogen accumulates more, you become more clumsy, you lose coordination, and then sometimes you hallucinate. So that's actually a problem when you're in the middle of the dive.
Coach Ige, when it comes to these sports that require good breathing, how can we improve our lung health and our lung endurance for that matter?
Actually, yes. For swimming, there's a workout that's what we call yung hypoxic breathing, no? Hypoxic training. So you're limiting your oxygen intake. So for example, you're swimming every 2 strokes, you're breathing every 2 strokes, and then you start to improve, you work on it. You try to breathe every 3 strokes, and then every 5 strokes, and then every 7 strokes, until you can do 11, 12, or you can breathe one way from 50 meters, no breathing. So from there, by training and being consistent again with swimming and working out, then you will have an easier time breathing and more comfortable in the water.
One thing that is common with these sports, one benefit is that of flexibility. Dr. Charles, talk about flexibility for us. What does this actually mean? How does this improve the overall health of someone?
Flexibility, roughly in layman's term, is the ability of your body part to stretch out without injuring it. No? So it's flexibility of the muscles, the ligaments. So this is something that can be improved by engaging in sports. But of course, you also have to take into consideration, you just don't go into the sports. So you also have to improve your flexibility immediately before your event if you have to stretch, or you have to stretch before the sporting event. So flexibility is something that enables us to move without tearing our muscles, without tearing our ligaments. So it's actually essential for also for a good performance of any sporting event, no?
Now, Coach Ige, for someone who has low flexibility, what can you advise for someone who is unable, let's say, to touch their toes and they want to be flexible quick? Is this something that can happen quickly if you force yourself to be flexible?
When you work on your flexibility, it takes a lot of time. So for some who, when they stretch, usually when you do a warm-up, you don't do actual stretching. You do the dynamic warm-ups, mga jumping jacks, mga leg swings, mga ganon, no? Lunges, squats, but once after the workout, then you do your cool down with the stretching. So with that stretching, it will take some time, especially for people who do a lot of weight training kasi nawawala yung flexibility. So you have to focus on flexibility talaga. You have to put some like yoga sessions, deep mga 15-minute stretching sessions, stretching routines after workouts. Try to do it 3, 4, 5 times a week kasi this is very essential, especially for aging athletes.
Now, similar to swimming, cycling is another low-impact sport that offers a wealth of benefits. When we return, we'll talk about why it's a great workout for this season. We're your partner in healthcare. You're watching MedTalk Health Talk. I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez, and welcome back to MedTalk Health Talk, where caring is our calling. Today, we're talking about summer sports and the many benefits these activities can offer your body as well as your mind. Now, in a city where traffic can be slow-moving, riding a bike is a convenient way to get around. It also offers a number of health benefits. Coach Ige, let's talk about some of the benefits that cycling naman can have because nauuso rin ito nowadays.
Well, ang cycling, it's fun because you get to explore places you haven't been to. Compared to running, it's non-impact. So you can ride every day. You can ride hard and easy days. You can alternate it. And then the good thing with cycling is it's actually a social sport also. You can go with a group, with your family, with your friends. And then you get to travel. You get to travel, say, 100 kilometers in, say, 3 hours easily. So that's a lot of mileage to see, on a bike. And then, for now, especially during summer, you can definitely check it out.
Coach Ige, is cycling a sport that can be taken up by someone who has never been sporty or athletic their whole life?
Actually, yes, they can, as long as you do it conservatively. Like nowadays, there are like e-bikes, electric bikes, pedal-assisted bikes that they can use if they have a hard time pedaling due to weight. But yes, of course, with cross-training, if you can do it with swimming, as well with biking, because both are non-impact sports, you can definitely use them for weight loss as well.
Now let's talk about some of the things that those who take up cycling as a sport should be aware about, and that is safety, of course. Now, Dr. Charles, when it comes to cycling, what are some of the more common injuries that people sustain kapag cycling ang involved?
The most common injuries, of course, it can be as simple bumps and bruises. But the more serious injuries is usually when they fall on an outstretched hand, they can fracture their wrist. It's called a Colles fracture or a Regis fracture, something here, somewhere around here. Or if they fall on their shoulder or even on a stretch hand, they could also fracture their collarbone. Those kinds of fracture are the more prevalent fractures in a cycling event.
Now, Dr. Charles, we can't stress here enough the safety that involves in this. Now, one of that is wearing a helmet, of course, when cycling. A lot of people are on opposite ends of this. Some people don't like how they look when they wear a helmet. Some people feel that it is constricting on their part. Masyado mainit kapag naka-helmet. Dr. Charles, are those wearing a helmet significantly reducing their risk of any head injuries or skull fractures for that matter?
If you wear a helmet, the incidence of head injury, I'm not talking about brain injury yet, okay? It's just the head injury, just like bumps and bruises or any laceration in your scalp. It actually gets reduced by 43%. So it's 43% lower. Now, if you go even deeper than that, like you talk about traumatic brain injury or the injury that's deeper, so it's the brain gets injured for the lay people, it goes down as far as it reduces it by 53%. So that figures just shows that it's really important. So it's actually a good convincing factor for the audience to really wear their helmet.
Now, Coach Ige, let's talk about those who have already gone past the usual biking and they want to be a little bit more competitive. What types of tips can you give those who want to get to that next level when it comes to cycling? They want to ride further, they want to ride with a better time at a certain distance. So how can they build that up? How can they build up their endurance?
To build overall fitness on a bike, they can just remember three things. No, you work on intervals, like short sessions, like 10 minutes of 1 minute sprint all-out effort. You can do tempo workouts, what you call sustainable effort. You can do it like 20-minute, 30-minute efforts. And then, of course, to build your endurance, you have to do some long rides once a week. That's a good 1 to 3 hours, depending on your goal. But those 3 workouts per week will definitely make you a better rider.
Running can be an intimidating sport, but it can improve your physical and mental health tremendously. When we return, we'll talk about some of these benefits and tips in starting a safe and enjoyable run. Your health is our mission here on MedTalk Health Talk. We'll be right back. I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez, and this is MedTalk Health Talk. Running is one of the most popular exercises all year long. It doesn't cost a lot, you can run at any time of the day, and there are many health benefits to it. Now, Coach Ige, what are some of the benefits of running? And what is this runner's high that we always hear from seasoned runners?
Yes, well, running, it's the best, no? Among the 3 sports that I do in triathlon, running is my favorite, no? Because it's easily accessible. You can just head out and go for a run. You can do it every day as long as you're wary of the efforts and intensity. It's a great, if you want to lose weight, it's the best in burning calories. It's the most efficient. Running for 30 minutes can definitely make a big impact within your health. And then, of course, you have to learn the proper running form. If you don't have the proper running form, then things might not work to your liking. So it's best to know the proper form, have good running shoes, and then work on your progress and your endurance progressively.
Before you start running, it is advised to start walking first. Walk about 10 to 20 minutes every day until you feel comfortable with your breath and the pace. Then begin to slowly move faster when walking. If you're used to the faster pace, you can slowly begin jogging at a slow and moderate pace. Now, Coach Ige, when it comes to running, what are some of the common injuries that runners usually face? There's one that we hear of shin splints. Could you talk about that? And how can someone improve their running technique, their running endurance?
Yes, actually the pinaka-importante is on the foot, no? A lot of injuries happen on the foot because of improper shoes and then also improper sudden surge of mileage, no? So if you're like from a lot of people will ginanahan, they try to run from 0 to hero, they target biglang 10K, no? So you have to start progressively. Okay, and then don't forget to warm up properly and do cool down because of this, such as the shin spin. Shin spins naman usually occurs when you do a lot of hill work. You do a lot of uphill runs, which is nasa-stress yung shins nyo.
Now, Dr. Charles, since we're talking about running, not just running, but sports that include some form of running, maybe basketball or football, we hear of this ACL, MCL tears or these types of injuries. Could you talk more about this? How does it happen? Why does it happen?
It can happen in two ways. One is the athlete is trying to do too much too soon, like they're not properly warmed up. Muscles that are not properly warmed up, they are more or less clumsy muscles, quote unquote. So no matter what you tell the muscle, it's not going to do what you're telling it to do. So that is actually a recipe for injury. So what usually happens, specifically for ACL injury, is they twist their knee while their foot is planted on the ground. So patients would usually say, Doc, umikot yung tuhod ko habang nakaapak yung paa ko.
Now, Coach Ige, with all of this information right now, what's your advice for our viewers who want to take up a new sport, try out a new sport in the summer, but at the same time, they want to remain safe, free from injury as much as possible?
Yes, well, for me, you have to choose a sport that you really love, one that you think you can do sustainably. Okay, like for example, if you like to do running, then you research on it, no, and then don't go for it immediately, like go hard or go take it easy, enjoy the journey, ask people from advice, look for a coach or check up on the internet, Google things about what you can do, and then research on gear. Yeah, that's the fun part, trying to find a community also that will make you more interesting in that passion that you want to work on.
Dr. Charles, do you have any advice for our viewers, especially this summer season where a lot of people are going to be trying out different sports?
Now that the COVID restrictions are getting lighter, now is really the perfect time to really rekindle or reconnect with our athletic side. Or if we don't have any, this is the perfect time to start it. Okay. So the good thing about exercise is summer sports, for that matter, is it makes you look better if that's your primary motivation. But apart from that, you would feel better about yourself. So mental well-being. Other than that is, of course, the obvious health benefits of exercise, especially aerobic exercise. Usually, you can lower your the bad cholesterol in your blood. You can increase the levels of your good cholesterol. Exercise can actually make your body burn the blood sugar more efficiently. It is very good for diabetics. So it also decreases blood pressure and improves your heart function. So apart from having fun, you have the benefit of getting healthy, being healthy. So it's a win-win situation. And it's also a way to meet new people. And it's a very, very big break from the mood of the pandemic, the sedentary lifestyle that we have been used to for the past 2 years. So now is really the perfect time to do sports.
Now, a tip for our viewers to stay injury-free is by scheduling in rest and recovery days as well as cross-training days. Mix running and jogging with low-impact activities like swimming and cycling to give your muscles a break. Also remember that if you'll be out in the sun doing these sports activities, keep in mind to protect yourself from sun damage as well so that you and your family can have a healthy and enjoyable summer season. Thank you, sports medicine specialist Dr. Charles Arandia and Coach Ige Lopez for being with us today and sharing your insights. We appreciate those very much. I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez and we'll see you again next time.